How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Get Ready, Stay Ready. Um, just want to have a talk with you all today. Are we still prepping, and why we should continue to prep, no matter what? That's right. Welcome back. Just read a few articles. Pull my chair up a little bit here. Just read a few articles that made me want to reach out to people and let them know that you know it's imperative that we make sure we have enough food, water, for our households, for family members. And don't forget about the elderly who may not be able to get their food, their own food. They may rely on someone to bring them, boxes of groceries or, canned goods or meat or whatever. We can't forget about them. Don't know what's going to happen, but some articles I read still say that the worst is yet to come this year. I don't know. As I said, I'm not big on mainstream media, but there are some articles I was just reading here. So let's get into it real fast. Let's get into it. Let me share my screen here with you. If you don't mind, what should I start with? Let's go. First of all, look at this here. I was looking at this, and this article, I think originally came out back in March, but it was updated here within the past couple of days. Tasteofhome.com. And basically, there's a list of, I think, 10 foods that, 10 items you might not find in your grocery store and why. So as we go down the list here, let me know in the comments if you're seeing these items, a shortage of these items in your stores. Let's see here. First one is avocados. It says you may see less of this fruit. Yes, avocado is a fruit on the shelves. The American government recently suspended imports of Mexican avocados after a U.S. plant safety inspector based in Mexico received a threat. U.S. inspectors are posted in Mexico to check whether Mexican avocados can be safely exported to the United States, and without their presence, imports may be on hold. It's always something seems to be going on in these plants. It's always something. Next one is paper goods. This is an item that we've seen at the top of the shortage list for the last 2 years. Toilet paper. Marketplace reports that we should expect to see continued shortages of TP, along with paper towels and other paper goods, as paper mills struggle to keep up with the demand and supply chain issues abound. Yeah, I do remember that back in 2020, early 2021, maybe there was a shortage on toilet tissue. I think we all remember that, uh, the scare there. But lately, I haven't been seeing much shortage yet. I'll say the past 4 or 5 months, maybe 6 months, I haven't been seeing much shortage on uh, toilet paper, or as the article says, TP. Paper towels, haven't seen much shortages on that. But who's to say it could be coming? So make sure that you get enough toilet paper or whatever you're going to use as a backup, or a backup, and make sure that the people are closest to you have what they need. You can't, most people, a lot of people don't want help. They look at you like you're crazy. As we all know, as preppers, hey, why are we getting all these things? Whatever, we don't need it right now. All you're doing is you know, making everything, making all the shelves empty. So when someone else comes to get something, there it's not there. The shelves are empty because of preppers. No, the shelves are not empty because of preppers. At this point, most serious preppers, you know, they're doing okay as far as having what they need. When a prepper goes into the store now, it's just to kind of like replace a few items because they're rotating, right? So Paper goods is number 2. Number 3 is canned goods. With people stocking up on canned goods in 2020 and 2021, manufacturers continue to face aluminum shortage. The shortage has continued through the pandemic, and a reduced supply of products like tomato paste, canned vegetables, and soda is likely to stay the norm. Yeah, like I said, in my area, I haven't seen um, a lot of shortage on canned goods. I mean, there was in the past, but what I mean when I say I haven't seen any recently, I'm talking about maybe this year. Haven't seen any shortage on canned goods. So now would actually be the time to go out there and stock up on them if you don't have many while it's here. Because 2 months from now, there may be a shortage. You may walk into a grocery store and there are no canned goods or 3 cans of beans left on the shelf, and people may be fighting for those. So you don't want to get yourself in that situation. You want to avoid that. Um, Number 4, eggs and meat. Now, I can tell you this. Last year, I saw a shortage on eggs. Haven't seen it this year. Meat, I haven't noticed too much of a shortage on meat, but I have noticed with meat more of an inflation. I mean, let's just take a simple pack of 1 pound pack of bacon. That used to be like the lesser brand was like $3.49. Now the lesser brand is like over $6, and that's for a 1 pound um, pack of bacon. You know, uh, it reads here that last spring, news of a chicken shortage resulted in fast food chains cutting back on chicken items. The shortage then moved over to grocery stores in the fall. According to the New York Post, grocery chain CEO John Cassimatidis, I guess that's the guy's name, warned that continuing supply chain issues could affect the supply of meat and eggs across the country, with parts of the U.S. already seeing prices on eggs, poultry, and beef go up thanks to high demand. It might be time to switch to vegetarian dinners for a while to combat the food shortage. I mean, yeah, first of all, you should have vegetarian days anyway, just for health reasons. Let's be honest with you. I don't think it's really necessarily good for our bodies to have meat every single day. And it's hard for me to say because I'm from a small country town where meat is huge. There are people still there that butcher their own, cows and pigs and whatever. They still do that, right? So for me to say you don't need meat every day, that's hard, but you really don't. Not saying not to go buy any. Make sure you have your freezers well stocked um, with meat. You get the big. I think they used to call them chest freezers, or some people call them deep freezers. The big ones that you could put in the garage or maybe on the back patio or whatever. Fill it up with meat and make sure you rotate it well. That's what that would be my advice to you. Because even if there's not a shortage as of yet, the prices are going to keep going up. I mean, you don't want to wait till you get to the point where you go buy a whole chicken and the whole chicken costs $30. And it may already be there in some areas. I don't know. But you don't want to wait on that. Get it now. Eggs, like I said, haven't seen too many shortages this year, but who knows? Number 5 is pet food. The continuing shortage of aluminum and shipping issues have led to shortages in dog and cat food across the country, with several local papers reporting bare shelves at the pet stores. According to Fox Business, even big retailers like Target and Amazon are facing shortages of pet food, leaving many pet owners scrambling for their furry friends' staple food and treats. Yes, I have seen a lot of shortage on the pet food. Now, this article is correct about that. Every store I go in is like you go down the pet food aisle, and like let's say the whole bottom row will just be completely empty, or may have 1 or 2 big bags of dog food there. Or you may go on another look on the other side of the aisle, you may see gaps, in the cans of cat food and dog food right there. And that's been like that for probably, honestly, in my area, probably close to a year. It's been that way. I mean, if you go back and look at some of the previous videos I have on the channel here, um, you'll see that there's been shortages. I don't really have pets, so but I know that there are a lot of people who do, and yeah, I mean those pets are important in people's lives, so they want to make sure that they are able to feed them. Lunchables is number 6. With school and work back in full swing in many places, this popular lunch flew off the shelves last year. Kraft announced in 2020 it would keep Lunchables on the shelves despite cutting a large number of its products. But it seems the increased demand continues to outstrip supply. If you can't find Lunchables at the store, you can always make a bento box lunch for kids. Not for sure what a bento box lunch is. I may have had it, but where I'm from, not really sure what we don't really use the phrase bento box lunch. We don't really use that. So if you out there know what a bento box lunch is, let me know. I would love to know what it is. But yeah, once again, if you go back and look at some of the older videos I've done over the past 5, 6 months, you'll see where I've been in Kroger or HEB or Walmart or Target or whatever, and the section where the Lunchables are, there's nothing there, or there are only a few packs there, or maybe a situation where they have the big size Lunchables, and then they have the little small ones. They may have only had all the small ones, but no big ones. I've seen it. So I don't really eat a lot of Lunchables. I don't think anyone in my house eats a lot of Lunchables, but I mean, they're a good snack. They're good to I would say they're a good something you could put in the go bag, but they won't last long. So if you put them in the go bag, you better eat them, that day. Because maybe the next day they may be good for a couple hours, but if they're not kept cold, they're not gonna last long at all. So if you try that, hey, you definitely want to make sure that you go ahead and eat them right away. So the article is actually accurate on that. Number 7, juice boxes. Another thing you might not be able to add to a packed lunch. Hmm. Juice boxes. The New York Post reported that a smaller apple crop, along with packing and supply issues, has led to shortages of Capri Sun and other much-loved juice brands. Once again, that is accurate. I saw the biggest shortage in that during the holidays, and I was thinking maybe it'll get better as the year turned to 2022, and it really hasn't gotten much better. Maybe a little bit, but and a lot of these juices aren't really good for kids anyway. So that may not necessarily be a bad thing, but it's definitely a shortage there. As I said, not quite as bad as it was at beginning or the end of last year, but it's still there. You can still walk down a aisle, a juice aisle in the grocery and see big gaps. So that's accurate. Now the next one here, I'm not sure. Maybe some of you out there can let me know if you're seeing shortage in cream cheese. I don't eat cream cheese. Well, not straight cream cheese. I'm pretty sure cream cheese is in items, that I like, like cheesecake or whatever. But as far as like me getting cream cheese and getting it out and spreading it on a bagel or a cracker or whatever, that's not me. Okay. I very rarely ever go out and just buy straight containers of cream cheese. So that's why I wouldn't know if there's a shortage on that. So if you all have seen it in your store, hey, let me know. I don't eat bagels that much, so I really have no need for it. I don't make my own cheesecake. So it says you might have to put off baking that cheesecake for now. Stores are running out of Philadelphia cream cheese. The shortage has gotten so bad that, according to USA Today, bagel shops in New York City are struggling, while the Junior's Cheesecakes production line was forced to briefly shut down. Wow, I didn't know that. Learn something new every day about this. Um, yeah, like I said, there's good and bad with that. It's bad that there's a shortage. It's bad that there's a shortage with anything, right? But once again, my opinion, I don't know if cream cheese is really that good for you. I know cheesecake is not that great for you, so maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it'll force us, into eating healthier, making healthier choices, healthier lifestyle, and and meal choices. Maybe, but just the fact that we don't have an option for certain things, and that due to a shortage, that's bad enough. Because if all these things are short, what's going to happen? It's going to cause a domino effect in the grocery store. because people who would normally buy these items, they're not going to have them. So they're going to move over to other items. Then those other items are going to become short. And then they're going to move on to something else. And those items are going to become short. So before you know it, you've run out of things to eat. And that's what I don't want to say it's starting to look that way, but we'll see. Number 9 on the list. Okay. Recently, baby formula. The Wall Street Journal recently broke of the news of a baby formula shortage, with brands like Enfamil, Similac, and Gerber becoming harder to find. With grocery shelves turning up empty, parents have taken to social media to ask where they could find formula. The recent baby formula recall created even has created even more pressure for parents across the country. Yeah, I was reading some story where this lady saw a guy trying to in the baby food aisle or the baby section aisle, and what a baby formula is, and he couldn't find the baby formula for his kid or his baby, so he literally just broke down crying right there in the store because it's a situation where he searched everywhere and they couldn't find the baby formula. It's crazy. That's freaking crazy. I mean, and of course, some certain person uh, that we all know and whose name is always seemed to be in the midst of catastrophes or in the midst of the next big crisis, a nerdy billionaire, I guess you can call him, seems to have a resolve for uh, baby formula. But yeah, this one's accurate also. Honestly, I wasn't really aware of this until maybe the past month, but people have been talking about this since the very beginning of the year, January, February of 2022. You go back and look, there were some articles, it may have been on the back page or small at the bottom, but there were articles that is talking about, hey, what's going on with the baby formula? Even back then, we're talking about 5 months ago. So yeah, it's there. And the last one, number 10 on the list of things you might find short in the store is liquor. Now, this is the one that I don't, maybe it's just me, but I don't see shortages in liquor anywhere, whether it's the grocery store or the actual liquor store. I haven't seen, like, every time I go in a liquor store, it is well stocked. As a matter of fact, it's so well stocked that they have to put extra, boxes, on the floor. It's very well stocked. It says here specifically champagne and beer. Okay, but even the champagne and beer, I see it everywhere still. According to wine enthusiasts, demand dropped for champagne dropped in 2020 and then rose again in 2021. That sentence is not actually correct. They had a typo there, I think. I don't know, maybe it's just me. It says it then rose again in 2021. This created a problem with let's try my French out. Comité Interprofessionnel du Vin de Champagne, CIVC. The trade organization for the Champagne region set a lower production cap based on the reduced demand. Supply chain issues have compounded the problem. Meanwhile, the shortage of aluminum cans and the increasing price of raw ingredients have led to shortages and higher prices for your favorite craft brew. In 2022, this trend seems set to accelerate. So, what I'm getting out of this, especially with the beer side and aluminum cans, if we haven't seen a shortage yet, we will, because it clearly says in 2022 this trend seems set to accelerate. Now, I don't know how long beer will last. I know, just as long as it's not open, I know it can last a little while. And you can see it in the stores where, yeah, they have some in the freezer, but they also have some sitting to the side in boxes. I don't know how long it sits there. I never paid attention to the best buy date on a can of beer. Maybe I should start, right? But as far as the champagne and whiskey and wine and things like that, I would actually say add this to your collection, because in the future, these can be used as barter items because there are people who will need, they will want, these alcoholic beverages. But if it's some type of whiskey, it may be used, you know, as part of first aid. So you definitely want to make sure while it's still there to get a couple extra bottles, not to drink. Don't go home and throw it back and do all of that. No drinking and driving, none of that. What I'm saying is keep it so when you do actually need it, it's there. You may have to trade bottle of that bottle of champagne for, some cans of fruit, whatever in the future. A couple bags of rice, bags of beans, whatever. You may have to do that. That's what I mean. But overall, right now, I haven't seen any shortage in liquor anywhere. So that's kind of a warning, I guess. Get it while you can. And so, I mean, with these items, like I said, the list was for the most part accurate, except for a couple of items. I really don't see shortages. And also, let me share something else with you here. I saw this other article here. This was a New York Post article. Maybe I should share this with you all too, so you won't think I'm just making up stuff here. Um, yeah, let me share this one with you. I think this is a good read as far as that goes. I'm not a big New York Post fan, but let's check it out. It says here looming food shortages is the next slow moving disaster to hit the world. First of all, we kind of already see that, but this is a recent article back, a few months ago. So they're talking about this a few months ago. So where are we at now? Like this is back in March. This is actually about 2 months ago. Where are we at now with this, right? And going ahead to read the article, I'm gonna just browse through it here. Food prices are already skyrocketing. A lot of this comes from inflation caused by runaway government spending over the past 2 years. Yes, I believe that. Some is from supply chain issues, but a new problem is rearing its head, and government officials seem as likely to make it worse as to make it better. That problem is shortages of food and fertilizer brought about by the Russian invasion of Ukraine and the sanctions enacted by the West in response. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I mean, not to get into it too deep, but yeah, it's you can clearly see it's getting worse. See what else it says here. I don't think it says anything else. There's a picture there, some empty shelves, empty coolers, whatever. So, but the key to that is the looming food shortages is the next slow moving disaster in the world to hit the world. So yeah, we're seeing it right now. Seeing it right now in most stores we go in. So that's why we keep prepping. Get what you can get while you can get it. Also, I've never heard of this one before, but what's this? The NOQ report. Looks like a pretty decent publication here, or website here. This was actually, well, it's actually today's date, Wednesday, May 18th, 2022. Is updated, but okay, there it is. The article was actually from May 16th, a few days ago. Now we are being told to expect food and diesel shortages for the foreseeable future. Look at that photo there. Basically, when they say foreseeable future, that means they don't know when it's going to stop, right? If you think that the food and diesel shortages are bad now, then you will be absolutely horrified by what the globe is experiencing by the end of the year. All over the planet, food production is being crippled by an unprecedented confluence of factors. The war in Ukraine, extremely bizarre weather patterns, nightmarish plagues, and a historic fertilizer crisis have combined to create the a perfect storm that isn't going away anytime soon. So it's saying it's not going away anytime soon. Um, so we need to stay ready, or need to get ready, stay ready. As a result, the food that won't be grown in 2022 will become an extremely severe global problem by the end of this calendar year. Global wheat prices have already risen by more than 40% since the start of 2022, but this is just the beginning. Meanwhile, we are facing unthinkable diesel fuel shortages in the United States this summer, and as you will see below, there are no plans to increase refining capacity in this country for the foreseeable future. Wow. Yeah, so no one really knows. And they're also talking about here, I'm not going to read all of this, but talking about the baby formula here, little stories here of what happened when people went to go look for baby formula. When Eric and Kelly Schmidt, both 35, went into a Central Florida Target store this week to buy their usual baby formula, Up and Up Gentle, which is I think is actually a specific Target brand, Up and Up, I think. For their 5-month-old twins, they found an empty shelf. The pair then embarked on a half-day journey in search of formula, any formula, and their request didn't end there. Quote, we spent over 4 hours going to every Target, different Walmarts, different grocery stores, just finding absolutely nothing, unquote, Eric Schmidt said. Wow. That's sad. I mean, people have babies out here and they can't find formula for the babies. This is just nuts. This is crazy. In a sense, evil. I'm gonna be honest with you. This guy. We're gonna scroll past that for right now. Then we have, oh, this is the story I think I was telling you about earlier. Yes, this is it right here. This is sad, man, when you see the guys just standing there crying. It says, uh, one father actually broke down in tears right in the middle of the baby formula aisle in Walmart because things have become so desperate for his family. Sarah Owens of Florence County says she was hunting for baby formula for her 6-month-old daughter, Naomi, amid a nationwide shortage when she encountered a dad break into tears after driving from store to store looking for his daughter's brand of formula. As tears continued to stream down his face, he said, I never thought I would be crying because I can't find what my child has to have. Unquote. Wow. Owens wrote in the Facebook. That's crazy. Man, I tell you. And when are they gonna, I guess, supposedly get the approval? Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think they may have struck a deal with FDA already to reopen the Abbott Nutrition facility. I think I read that somewhere a few days ago. So I mean, we'll see what happens because if that doesn't work, there's someone out there, that usual suspect, that um, he seems to have an answer for everything, and he seems to be right here to pick up the pieces and provide some kind of artificial baby formula, I guess, or baby milk, whatever, um, to help out the parents. He just always seemed to be so helpful. Yeah, anyways, tell me what you all think. What are you experiencing in your area? What do you see? Are there particular items that you seeing more of a shortage of now than you did in the past? Is it about the same? Or do you have, are all your stores well stocked right now? Um, Let me know in the comments, and please like, share, subscribe, and also please check out the Tirade TV podcast, um, available on all podcast platforms. Also subscribe to the Tirade TV channel, and also subscribe to this channel. As I said, if um, just here to share some information I have. We're all preppers. We're all looking out for each other. And if I find out any information, I'll definitely leave it on the channel here. I appreciate you all for tuning in. And as always, get ready, stay ready. God bless.